What if everything you believed about earning a woman's love was backwards? What if your kindness, your comfort, your gentle heart, the very things you thought would win her admiration, were actually driving her away? Friedrich Nietzsche saw through the veil of romantic illusion centuries ago. He understood something most men never grasp. Women don't fall for your victories. They fall for your ability to endure defeat and rise again. Listen closely to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth will either liberate you or destroy the comfortable lies you've been living. Nietzsche wrote that existence itself is a will to power, a relentless drive to overcome, to dominate, to transcend. But here's what he discovered about feminine nature that will shock you. Women are not attracted to power achieved. They are magnetized by power being forged. She doesn't want to see you at the mountaintop, basking in glory. She wants to witness you climbing through the avalanche, bleeding from the rocks, refusing to quit when every muscle screams surrender. This isn't cruelty. This is evolution speaking through her instincts. Think about it. For thousands of years, women had to choose mates who could protect, provide, and survive when the world turned savage. The man who folded under pressure meant death for her and her children. The man who smiled through suffering meant survival. That programming didn't vanish because we built cities and invented smartphones. It lives in her DNA, whispering ancient truths her conscious mind doesn't even understand. Nietzsche called this the eternal recurrence, the idea that the fundamental forces of existence repeat endlessly. The woman testing your resolve today is the same primal force that tested your ancestors 10,000 years ago. But modern men have forgotten this dance entirely. You've been conditioned to believe that vulnerability equals authenticity, that showing your wounds proves your honesty. So you lay your heart bare, expecting gratitude for your transparency. Instead, you get indifference. Or worse, you get her pulling away just when you thought you were getting closer. This isn't because women are evil. It's because you're speaking a language her deepest instincts don't recognize. Nietzsche understood that suffering isn't something to be avoided. It's something to be transformed. He wrote about the concept of amor fati, loving your fate, embracing even the pain as necessary for your becoming. When a woman sees a man who suffers and grows stronger, something primal awakens in her. When she sees a man who suffers and grows weaker, that same instinct recoils in disgust. You might call this unfair. Nietzsche would call it necessary. Consider the men throughout history who captured women's deepest devotion. Were they the safest choices? The most comfortable companions? Never. They were the ones who stared into the abyss and didn't blink. They were the ones who carried invisible weights with visible strength. This is why your constant reassurance-seeking feels so repulsive to her. This is why your need for emotional validation triggers her withdrawal. You're demonstrating exactly the opposite of what her instincts are designed to respect. But here's where most men misunderstand Nietzsche completely. They think this means becoming harsh, cold, emotionally unavailable. They think it means treating women badly to prove their strength. That's not strength. That's weakness disguised as power. True Nietzschean strength doesn't come from inflicting suffering on others. It comes from transforming your own suffering into wisdom, your pain into purpose, your struggles into unshakable inner authority. The man who truly embodies the will to power doesn't need to prove his strength to anyone. His strength is so evident, so natural, that it speaks for itself. When you stop seeking her validation and start commanding your own respect, something shifts in the dynamic between you. She stops being the judge of your worth and becomes the witness to your transformation. This is the paradox Nietzsche understood. The moment you stop needing her admiration is the moment you become worthy of it. But transformation isn't comfortable. It requires you to sacrifice the boy who believes love should be easy for the man who understands that everything worthwhile requires effort. It means accepting that your struggles aren't obstacles to overcome. They're the very foundation upon which your character is built. It means understanding that when she tests you, challenges you, seems to create difficulties in your path, she's not your enemy. She's the universe offering you another opportunity to prove who you're becoming. Nietzsche wrote about the Übermensch, the man who creates his own values, who stands beyond the need for external validation, who finds meaning in his own becoming rather than in others' approval. This is your invitation to become that man. Not because women will love you more, although they will. Not because life will become easier, although you'll handle difficulty with grace you never knew you possessed. But because this is who you were meant to be before the world convinced you that strength meant never struggling, that love meant never being tested, that respect could be earned through anything other than the demonstration of unbreakable character. Your pain has been preparing you for this moment of understanding. Your struggles have been forging the very strength she's been waiting to witness. The question isn't whether you're strong enough to handle what life throws at you. The question is whether you're wise enough to see that what life throws at you is exactly what you need to become who you're meant to be. Stop running from the fire. Walk into it. Let it burn away everything that isn't truly you. What remains will be unbreakable. And that man, that version of yourself forged in the flames of your own becoming, that's the man worthy of the deepest kind of love and respect. But let me be crystal clear about something. This journey of transformation isn't about changing yourself to please anyone else. It's about excavating the man you were always meant to be from beneath the layers of social conditioning and false beliefs. Nietzsche wrote about the transvaluation of values, the need to destroy old beliefs and create new ones based on your own authentic experience. This is your transvaluation moment. You've been living by someone else's blueprint for masculinity. Society's version, your parents' version, popular culture's version. But none of these versions were designed for your unique soul. The man who emerges from this understanding doesn't just attract women differently, he attracts life differently. Opportunities flow to him because he radiates the kind of certainty that moves mountains. Challenges bow to him because he's been forged in fires that would consume weaker men. This is what Nietzsche meant by becoming your own creator. Not waiting for permission from the world to be great, but granting yourself the authority to define what greatness means in your own life. The woman who truly sees this transformation in you won't just respect you, she'll be inspired by you. She'll want to rise to meet the standard you've set, not because you demanded it, but because excellence calls to excellence. This is the ultimate paradox of masculine power. The less you need it validated externally, the more powerfully it manifests in your external world. Your struggles have been preparing you for this revelation. Every rejection, every failure, every moment of doubt has been carving away everything that wasn't essential to who you're becoming. Now you have a choice. You can continue living in the comfortable prison of seeking approval, or you can step into the sometimes uncomfortable freedom of being completely authentic to your own nature. The path forward isn't easy. It requires you to be alone with yourself, to face the parts of your character that still need refinement, to embrace the ongoing process of becoming rather than the illusion of having arrived. But this is the only path that leads to true strength, true respect, and true love. Not the needy, dependent kind, but the sovereign, chosen kind that enriches both people involved. This isn't about women. This is about you becoming everything you were born to be. The rest is just a beautiful consequence of that transformation.